The night shift incident. Storytime monologue. People think working the front desk at a 5-star hotel is all celebrity sightings and complimentary champagne. And it is, until 3 a.m. At 3 a.m, the marble lobby turns into a portal to another dimension. It was a Tuesday, 3:14 a.m. to be exact. I heard the grand elevators ding, so I put on my award-winning hospitality smile. Out stepped a man I'll call Mr. Henderson. He was a solid 55, shaped like a partially deflated beach ball, and he was wearing absolutely nothing. Well, almost nothing. He had on one of our signature 800 thread count Egyptian cotton washcloths covering his privates. And let me tell you, that tiny square of fabric was doing a lot of heavy lifting. He waddles up to the desk, completely breathless, and tells me his wife locked him out. Apparently, they had a late-night disagreement about the minibar prices, and now he needs a new key to room 412. So I look him dead in the eye, perfectly calm, and say, "Certainly, sir. I'd be happy to assist you with that. May I please see a photo ID?" He looked down at his washcloth. I looked down at his washcloth. We both silently acknowledged that there were 0 pockets in his current ensemble. He stared at me like I had 3 heads and yelled, "An ID? I don't have an ID on me! Look at me! My driver's license is in my wallet," which is currently on the nightstand next to a woman who just threw a complimentary La Mer lotion bottle at my head. He then proceeded to whine about how his bare toes were freezing on the marble floor. I told him I completely understood, but for security purposes, hotel policy strictly dictates that I cannot issue a room key without verifying a valid government-issued photo ID. I wanted to help the guy, I really did. But policy is policy, and frankly, I didn't want to get anywhere near the washcloth zone. So I did what any highly trained hospitality professional would do. I called Dave. Dave is our night security guard. He's built like a tank and has been doing this for 20 years. He thought he had seen it all, until tonight. I radioed him and said, "Dave, code pink at the front desk. We need an escort to 412. Bring maybe a towel, a big one." Dave arrives, completely deadpan. He doesn't say a single word. He just points toward the elevator. Mr. Henderson sighs, turns around, and begins the longest walk of shame in human history. And that is when I saw the full picture. The washcloth only covered the front. The back? It was entirely out in the open, and it looked exactly like 2 giant scoops of cottage cheese in a blender. It jiggled with every single step. Left step, jiggle. Right step, jiggle. It was hypnotic in the worst way possible. Dave looked back at me before getting into the elevator, and I swear I saw a tear roll down that man's cheek. They made it up to the room, and Dave had to do the knocking. The wife opened the door, took one look at Dave, took one look at her husband's freezing cottage cheese backside, and just started screaming. Dave had to write a full incident report. I also had to write an incident report. But apparently, management felt my writing was a little too creative. They pulled me into the office the next day and told me that my detailed 2-page description of Mr. Henderson's rhythmic, dairy-like gluteal oscillations was considered unprofessional and overly vivid. They transferred me to the 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. shift the very next day. Honestly, it was the best creative writing exercise I've ever done, and I never have to work the graveyard shift again. Stay clothed, folks. Subscribe for more.